Leftists always engage in this revisionist history every single time we have an election, specifically when Democrats lose. So what we're seeing now with the leftists is they're pretending that they had no part in Kamala Harris losing. And if Kamala would have received 100% of the support from Jill Stein's supporters, she still would have lost. That's not the point that we're making. We don't give a fuck that you dumbass bitches voted for Jill Stein. We give a fuck about the harm that the propaganda that you spread helped facilitate Kamala's loss to Donald Trump. A lot of you engaged in blatant attacks on Kamala Harris supporters all across social media, calling them genocide enablers, saying that if they voted for Kamala Harris, they would not be welcome in your communities, and that people should either vote for Jill Stein or Donald Trump, but not Kamala Harris. That plays a part in whether or not people are going to vote for a candidate. It is propaganda that is aimed at harming a specific candidate. If the messaging from Jill Stein and her supporters were that they were simply just trying to achieve 5% support in order to become a national party, we would not even be having this conversation right now. I would probably still be criticizing Jill Stein, but I wouldn't be criticizing her supporters as much as I have been in the past couple of days. My criticism has always been aimed solely at Jill Stein, but not this election, because you guys went above and beyond to ensure that Kamala Harris did not win. And Jill Stein herself, when she acknowledged that there was no pathway for her to win, said her goal this election was to deny Kamala Harris the White House. This is a Newsweek article where Jill Stein is basically outlining how she will stop Kamala Harris from winning the White House. How she will stop Kamala Harris from winning the White House. Kamala Harris, not Donald Trump, Kamala Harris. The Green Party this election cycle, leftist voters this election cycle have said over and over again that there is no pathway for them to win anything, that their only goal this election was to ensure that Kamala Harris did not win. Because at the time, they viewed her as a bigger threat than Donald Trump. And the reason why they viewed her as a bigger threat is because they believed that there was no way she was going to lose. They always felt that she was going to be the one to win, that she was going to be able to pull it off, even with all of the bullshit that they were saying. And that's why they were doing the dumb shit that they were doing. That's why they were spreading this propaganda so easily, because they believed that for the next 4 years, they would be able to criticize Kamala Harris for any failure that she had in her administration. They didn't believe that there was a possibility that Donald Trump could win. And now that Donald Trump won, you see a lot of these leftist content creators that are trying to divorce themselves from any accountability in how they assisted Donald Trump in winning this election, because they conducted a all-out propaganda campaign to ensure that Kamala Harris did not win. And these all-out attacks on black content creators, and more specifically black women content creators, from anti-black leftists. You don't get to divorce yourselves from accountability when you participated in this attack. You did everything in your power to ensure that Kamala Harris did not win. And it doesn't matter that a lot of you didn't vote for Jill Stein. A lot of you didn't vote for Jill Stein because you voted for Donald Trump. For a multitude of different reasons, you didn't vote for Jill Stein. One, because Jill Stein probably wasn't on your ballot like here in New York State. Or you understood what we have been telling you all along, that there were only two candidates that could win. So you decided to vote for Donald Trump to spite Kamala Harris because you knew that Jill Stein could not win. A lot of you are afraid of what you're seeing coming from Donald Trump's administration. Like, we didn't tell you that this was going to happen all along. We've literally been telling you that this shit was going to happen. And a lot of you still decided to attack Kamala Harris and her supporters, calling them genocide enablers, calling Kamala Harris a war criminal, even though she's not the fucking president of the United States, which again takes away all credibility from that word, because you guys are literally using it inaccurately, because the president is the only one that sets policy, not the fucking vice president. You dumbass bitches. So yes, bitch, you are equally as responsible for Donald Trump winning the White House than those Trump supporters that voted for him, that were loyal to him from the beginning. And now you are afraid of the consequences that are going to come from a Donald Trump presidency. Amazing if you would have just listened to us. You wouldn't be afraid. You would just be criticizing Kamala Harris, who would probably be trying to listen to you instead of trying to deport you.